What makes my blood boil? People deserve privacy. What's yours should remain yours. What makes my blood boil? If you don't pay for a product, you are the product.
My opening question for you today is, Tanner, what makes your blood boil?
What makes my blood boil are the number of individuals being screwed by the U.S. healthcare system is number one. Number two is call it the lame person mindset, meaning that they believe they can't do something just because. So those two things, I know they're on different ends of the spectrum, unrelated, but those two things make my blood boil more than anything else.
You started to create an app. So tell us about this app, and your blood was boiling when you built that one too, didn't it?
Correct. It definitely did boil. And this one is called FreedomChat. And I mean, that now has a different connotation than it did 2.5 years ago. But it is designed for those that want absolute privacy and security, which to me shouldn't be a hard ask, but it is. So what really prompted me, what made my blood boil, is the amount of apps that are truly unauthentic. You go on their website, they say message privately, end-to-end encryption. I mean, that's like a buzzword. But when you actually dive into it, what does end-to-end encryption actually mean? Like, where is the end? So what that really means, if you ask me what's end-to-end encryption is, it means no one under any circumstance other than the intended recipient can read a message. But if you ask WhatsApp, totally different connotation behind that. It means, well, if you report a user, we can see it. If you back it up to another device, we can see it. I mean, that just started to make my blood boil. People deserve privacy wherever you end on the spectrum, political, doesn't matter your belief. Like, everybody should be able to talk to their friends, family, and associates in private without somebody else looking over their shoulder.
Do you think we're being lied to?
I think we're being told more lies than we are being told the truth.
How do I know, right? So why does this matter? So does it matter on whether I'm on like a WhatsApp or people go to Signal or, any of these other places? And it says it's end-to-end encryption, nobody can go in. So you say that's a lie. Why does this matter?
It matters because I think if you don't have your privacy, you have nothing. And it doesn't just stem from you sending a message. It could be an image, it could be a video, it could be your social security number, it could be a credit card, any little thing. And it's also healthcare information, financial information. So yeah, we are being lied to. It all matters. And the most common thing I hear for the opposition is, well, I have nothing to hide. Doesn't matter if you have something to hide or not. It's just wait until something happens. You run for something. There's a hack at a company that you were using. All of a sudden, these conversations that you might not have thought meant anything are out in the open. That image or video, it all matters because what's yours should remain yours. Just give people their privacy, because as soon as you don't have, look at China. They have this social credit score. It's groupthink. You can't say something without being criticized. And freedom of thought is the individual expression. The freedom to think and say what you believe. Wherever you are, I don't really care. Everybody should be able to say what is on their mind, because the moment we get away from that, people are afraid to speak their mind because they fear of a leak or some privacy repercussion. That's when you just get a society that's not creative. I think there are so many risks. It's interesting that people, the first thing they might say is, I have nothing to hide. I just think that's a very weak argument.
I don't think necessarily that it's about hiding anything. I think it's about a right to enjoy what I pay for. So if I pay for a phone and I want to send my family a photo of my 2-year-old granddaughter, I want to be able to do that without fearing that that's going to end up on some child porn site because somebody hacked into that, right? What was this trigger event that made you create this? Because no entrepreneur ever wakes up one morning and goes like, oh, well, I'm going to do something that nobody has ever done before. I'm going to take this a lot more serious. What made you do this?
I'm so happy you just said what you said, because that is such a misconception. People think that Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp, the guys that started Uber, had this, oh, it's epiphany. They knew the color scheme. They knew what they were going to do. Like, that's not how it works. It is, you have a moment and then you work on the idea a little more and then it becomes a little more refined, so on and so forth. I had a marketing company, a website creation firm, and we did really well. We had publicly traded clients, some very successful privately held clients, and I would manage some sites. I mean, this would range from conservative websites to a gold mining company to healthcare companies, pharmacies. I mean, we had clients all over the spectrum. But one thing was pretty consistent from these sites, and even a pharmacy, like they were asking about, is their information encrypted? Is it secure? Some of these news sites we were managing they were concerned about their privacy. And I was like, okay, well, what is all this about? And so I started to do some research, started to look in the options. WhatsApp, who claims they're incredibly private, right? But they're owned and operated by Facebook, Meta. So obviously right there, that's a red flag. But when you dive into it, I didn't like what I was seeing. That your images and videos are always stored on a server, often indefinitely. They're usually not encrypted on the back end, so they're visible to
Even
the
when you
service
delete it,
provider.
even after you delete it.
Even after you delete it, which is, people think, oh, I deleted that, it's gone forever. And it's not. It's gone from your eyes, not from other people's eyes. So, and I'll come back to that because that's a good point. And that's why we came up with a feature for FreedomChat specifically for that. But the more I dove into it, you see the rate of cybersecurity incidents, people's trust is declining. Well, it really prompted, okay, maybe I'm going to start something like this. And then I just had two things happen firsthand. Number one was, I had a buddy of mine and he lives on Miami Beach. It's an apartment, and he was filming. It's a beautiful home, but he was filming his new hot tub and his new cold tub. And he sent me a video, didn't message me, sent no text message. It was just a video. And he was filming. He said, look on my cold tub, hot tub, like as a joke. And all of a sudden, he sent it over iMessage and all over Safari, all over. This is when I had some social media. I have no social media anymore. And I was being advertised for cold and hot tubs. And I'm like, he didn't even text me. He just sent a video and he was narrating the video. And this is an iMessage, which is supposed to be, they say, and then encrypted. But no, I was getting ads all over Safari. I was getting ads all over social media. When you look at iMessage, well, they actually sync with Safari. So what you share, the content in there, can be used for advertising purposes. And then it can be shared with third parties. Again, third parties is an ambiguous term. That could mean, where does it stop? What's a third party? Anybody. So that was number one. And then the other one was my grandma. She's a super sweet lady, different last name, lives across the country from me. Got a call, and she called me multiple times. Back to back to back to back. And on the last one, I answered because I'm thinking, oh somebody died, something's wrong. What happened? And she said, I got a call that you were in a horrible car accident and need $25,000 for surgery. And I'm like, no, please do not send that. I am okay. And what's concerning about that is she doesn't have my last name. We're not in the same state, anywhere near each other. I had been in a car accident once before. I did require surgery. So it's kind of like, well, how did they know that she was my grandma? How did she know? And then you go back to it and it's, well, if you've ever used WhatsApp, all your contacts are shared with the parent company, and they use that to see, well, how do you message each other? How do you know each other? And all that information is shared with third parties. Facebook is notoriously known for not giving a rat's behind about your privacy. So it was these two things where these companies, you see iMessage or iPhone and they say privacy, that's iPhone. That's just a load of crap, is what that is. And then WhatsApp, message privately. It's like, okay, this is just ridiculous. And so I was like, you know what? I texted 5 people, 5 of my clients, super successful. I said, I'm thinking of starting this. What do you think? And they said, go for it. And right then and there, I was like, okay, I'm going to make a private messaging app with end-to-end encryption, true end-to-end encryption, meaning we can't even decrypt it under any circumstances. No commercial use of user data, and no storage of messages on our server. So the 3 pillars of privacy. And I just got off to the races, but the more I worked on it, the more refined the idea became, the more I connected with the right people, places, circumstances. It's just crazy how things unfold once you sort of decide, I'm going to do this, come hell or high water, I'm going to do this. It's amazing how things just transpire.
So what you're saying is what makes this idea different is that you, can I say, you are a man of your word, which is
I'm
what,
authentic. That's what I would use. And I don't like the fakeness. And what I mean by that is it's like healthcare. That's what I said when it makes my blood boil. Next startup will be in the healthcare space. So what causes the majority of bankruptcies in this country? It's medical debt. But did you know that the majority of hospitals in this country claim they're nonprofit? So those same hospitals that go and garnish individuals' wages, that inflate something between 2 times and 23 times it's Medicare, Medicaid, like what they would actually pay for it. So they'll inflate it, let's say 20 times. Send you a bill, you don't pay it, they garnish your wage. But no, we're a nonprofit company, a nonprofit organization. We don't pay state taxes, we don't pay county, federal. They rip off people, they screw people, they garnish their wage. And that's part of my reason Signal, which you mentioned, claims they're a nonprofit. Same thing. Irks me beyond belief. A nonprofit is supposed to be a church, a water group, like something where you're going to get less than market rate salaries, right? That's a nonprofit. You're doing something for the good of humanity. You're not going to collect millions of dollars in bonuses like a tech CTO. I mean, we saw this play out with OpenAI where we're a nonprofit. You're not. You wanted it supposed to be a little incubator, and now obviously you're not a nonprofit. You guys retain some top talent in Silicon Valley. Ridiculous. Medical, same thing. Signal, same thing. I despise that type of stuff. Like, just say you're a for-profit corporation. I'm a capitalist. We want to make money. We're never going to sell your data, though, because it's not our business model. That's not how I want to do things. We'll license out our encryption. We'll have memberships. We'll keep our costs down. So I would say I'm authentic. And it irks me that these other, like, just say who you are, what you believe, and stand by that.
do you think that this notion that people want stuff for free really bites them in the butt ultimately? Because if I want a free messenger app, instead of paying $100 a year for something, right? Is that a price I pay for my desire for everything to be free? Is there something wrong with my brain is what I'm asking.
If you don't pay for a product, you are the product. I mean, every company's got to make money. So especially these messaging apps, other than FreedomChat, they store every message on a server. Cloud storage costs become ridiculously expensive. So WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, iMessage, I mean, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. So even like email service, Gmail is notorious for scanning your emails, and they use that to better target ads for you. So it's like, if you're not paying for a product, unless the company has given you clear text as to why, you are the product. They want you, they want your data, but the use of data has become so ambiguous. When they hear data, they're like, oh, it's my data. Well, I mean, it's not just your name and your email. It's where you live, your political affiliation, financial information, social security number, identifiers, like a lot of things that are going to be used against you, that they build this persona of you. I mean, we just need to change the connotation behind the word data. It's so much more than that. It's you. It's everything that makes you who you are. They have that, and they use that against you.
Yeah, I see this all the time. When I was on vacation, I had I don't even know how manyest fraud I've had on my credit card. And I woke up to 72 Wingstop and pizza purchases in
72
Arizona.
Wingstop. They had a good time with that card.
Holy smokes, whoever it was hungry. I was like all pizza and Wingstop. And I'm going like, man, that's what people do with stolen data. They go and buy themselves some fast food. At least be a little bit more sophisticated. I mean, judging.
Go to a steakhouse, honestly. Like,
Go,
something.
exactly. Go get some decent food. You are saying that privacy is an issue. Take me through what happens if I brush this off? Because you kind of said earlier, sometimes people think, yeah, whatever, I can't do anything about this. So let's say I'm having this laissez-faire attitude. You said that's one of the things that really bother you the most, people that just go like, nothing I can do. So there's nothing I can do about it. That's just the way it is. Are you calling bullshit?
I mean, of course, there's something you can do about everything. So whether that's I can't get in better shape, okay, that's bullshit. I can't read more. Okay, nonsense. I can't take care of my privacy. Nonsense. It's the laws. It doesn't just apply to privacy. It's everything. I can't do it. The poor me mentality. I think everybody should just be proactive, do a digital cleanup. You would be so shocked and surprised. I mean, Google your name. Most people have so much information out there, and you're like, how did you get this? Well, they crawled websites. These companies share your information. I mean, they have your address. There's like, one, for safety reasons. Two, just wait till you become someone of power. Like, it doesn't matter. You might not think it matters now. Make a little bit of money and see how many fraud attempts, right? You can have your bank account drained. Somebody can take out a loan, and like, there's so many things that you just want to cover. Just do a digital cleanup, protect your conversations, protect your privacy. Doesn't take that much time, doesn't take that much effort. And if you're going to continue to use these free services, they're not actually free. You are the product. And sooner or later, it's going to come to bite you in the ass. Promise you.
Are there some things that I should be doing immediately? Let's say I'm on WhatsApp. Should I be doing these disappearing messages? Should I not save my messages on the iPhone in perpetuity? Are there just some basic best practices that I should be doing?
You should be using FreedomChat and disappearing your messages. We call it self-destruct because ours is actually self-destruct. It's often your device, the recipients, and the server. WhatsApp is disappearing messages, but we'll still keep it on the server just in case. Like, that's not a disappearing message. It appears like it's been removed, but it's still on their servers, often, always indefinitely. So that's why I like when you send a message on FreedomChat, you can send images, videos, GIFs. You can edit, unsend, self-destruct, anything. You self-destruct, you unsend it off your device. It's off the recipient's device. It's off our servers. And it's like it never happened. And that just ensures we want to give people the same sense of security as the spoken word. And the other common argument I hear, which is again nonsense, is, well, what about bad actors? Well, there's bad actors everywhere in the world. I mean, there's bad actors on Discord, which has no end-to-end encryption, and they can see everything. So was that a choice on their part? Shame on them. They should have seen that. There's no end-to-end encryption there. Instagram, Facebook. For us, we have no tolerance for anything illegal, anything like that. So I would just say it's not right to police everybody because there are potential few bad actors. Like, assume the best in people, and we're just trying to give everyday, not even just Americans, everybody around the world, the freedom to speak freely and message privately.
Well, when you say freedom chat, I gotta say it. I feel the MAGA movement screaming in the background. Was that intended?
No, it was not. And I'm not MAGA. I'm an independent. I just believe in freedom of speech, freedom of thought, privacy. I definitely have more leanings on the conservative side. I think healthcare needs to be fixed. And for me, like, there's not a whole lot of conservatives that say to raise taxes, but we need to tax the crap out of these healthcare companies, get government out. I think so. Again, I don't want to be put in like this box that this is me and this is what it's used for. No, freedom is ubiquitous. The desire for freedom is ubiquitous. There was a news company in Taiwan that wrote about us. Taiwan is very fearful of a Chinese invasion. Like, it's very important to them. Bangladesh that just had a huge blow up with their prime minister. We had somebody write about us there. So really, now it's just been put in a box because we're in the United States. But freedom is a desire everywhere in the world. And I think it has a negative connotation around the world now. But the intention is just to allow everybody to speak freely and message privately. And it is a freedom chat. Like,
no, I hear you. I have to ask this because my leanings definitely are, been working with artists and crazy people all my entire life. So I understand the human condition on another side of this, but I also look at this and I can't stand the being put in a box of that I have to like all the doctrines of the one and all the doctrines of the other. I don't think it works like that. I think we got to get back to basics, which is why I wanted you on the show to say, look, privacy matters, security matters, and here is a thing. What kind of challenges are you encountering? So I mean, the name being one, I'm sure that people are not just praising you. So what are you up against as an entrepreneur with an idea that makes the product, not the person, the product?
I mean, the name definitely is bittersweet, in all honesty, because you can get one, let's say 40% of the population in the US to be all excited about you, use it, love it. And then 50 to 60% will write it off just because your name, which I'm like, okay, that wasn't the intent. Freedom, that should be everybody's goal. Like, you want to be able to message privately. That shouldn't just be a conservative issue or a liberal issue. It's an everybody issue. Everybody's had some sort of privacy mishap so that's my take on that. But Freedom Chat is so much bigger than just a so-called conservative messaging app. It's a cybersecurity company. We've launched Freedom Chat for Business, which we allow companies, it could be dating apps, it could be a healthcare company. They can create a white label of Freedom Chat, meaning they take our features, our security, and create their own messaging app. So we've worked with dating apps. We've worked with another type of messaging app. We worked with a telemedicine company. So our security is going to be used in a lot more than just our audience. I see our encryption powering a lot of the healthcare market. So, and then also building HIPAA compliant chat solutions for healthcare, solutions for the legal industry. Freedom Chat is a brand within that portfolio of what we do. It's not necessarily the company.
I think that there's lots of applications. There's a flip side to it. So, of course, illegal activities probably want this really badly because they cannot be tracked, which is one of the things the government probably is going to have a look at you at some point or another, because that's their main concern. So you kind of can't get it right on every level. Like, if it's freedom for everybody, and you can't control it like that. So in this, since you've been doing that, what's your personal transformation? Like, what have you since found out about yourself or learned about yourself, or anything that you can share with our audience? It's like, well, before I was this and now I'm that.
This is just going to probably sound a little boisterous and arrogant, but I'm wildly persistent, and I didn't discover that along this, but it just reinforced the fact, like, a lot of people don't really know what they can do until you set out and do it. And ideas don't come out fully formed. They become clearer as you work on them. So that's why a lot of people don't get started, or they don't continue, because it's, no, that idea wasn't that clear. Like, I wasn't sure what to do. Well, most people aren't sure what to do. Everybody. Like, you take one step and then you just figure it out. So the personal transformation here is I am a much better entrepreneur because this has been incredibly difficult. I mean, building a truly private messaging app, the amount of pen testing, the amount of security issues we've had, the amount of security fixes we've implemented. I mean, it's just like, it is a lot. It's not like you have a product and you release a product. You have to test it continuously. The moment you think you're over the hump, something happens. Oh my gosh, then you can quit and cry, or you can get up and persist. So, like, this personal transformation this is my fourth company. I started my first one when I was 18, sold that one when I was 21. I used to think that was difficult. It was a nutrition company. And now I'm like thinking, okay, if I wanted to start,
a piece of cake.
it was a piece of cake. If I wanted to start another nutrition company, get it to the same level of scale, would probably take me 3 to 4 months. That's it. And it's not, I consider it a side hustle. I'm talking to my wife and we're like, hey, we should start a product company because we want some fun, like a side hustle. Back then I'm like, this is consuming all my brain power. It's just, I feel myself like I'm becoming a better entrepreneur. I'm a better leader. That's where the personal transformations happen. So it's kind of like, people should also look at starting a company, running a company. Like, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to become a much better version of yourself. It's not necessarily the financial success. Of course, that's what everybody's shooting for. But you can take a lot of swings. Like, some companies will work out, some won't. You just keep swinging. You're going to become a better entrepreneur, a better person, a better leader each time. So I wish like people viewed it as that as well, not just, well, I made this and didn't do. Well, no, it's like, what did you learn? What did you do? What did you become? Because life's, it's short, but it's long. Like you're gonna have a lot of opportunities, so you don't want these lessons to go to waste.
What's your favorite mistake?
That I've ever made, or in general.
It's your favorite mistake, so you get to pick it.
My favorite mistake, I think there's like three. My biggest mistake, and it's usually the opposite because a lot of people usually move super slow or pretty conservative, not politically, but like just in their thought process and their thinking, they move super slow. They're not like, I'm going to go do this and start. For me, when I start companies, it's usually a lot faster than it should be, meaning I will just plow money. I will go move ahead. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And you just keep going, going, going. Sometimes it makes sense to make a plan. And I've learned that, like my first company, it was a nutrition company. And I decided I wanted to have protein powder. I didn't think about the economics of the business. I just thought I'm going to do this. And so I wired some money to this really supplement manufacturer. I didn't know due diligence. And so when they come back and this is the pricing, I'm like, okay, and this is how much I'm going to sell for. And then there's shipping involved. I'm like, I am not going to make any money on this product, yet I just wired them some, like, so the biggest mistake, sometimes people need to spend more time. Like Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 7 hours, I'd spend the first 6 sharpening the axe. That means like set a plan, get organized, and progress forward. Sometimes don't just jump into things. But there's also like the flip side is some people usually just plan forever and then they use it as an excuse not to begin. So you kind of have to, if you move too quickly and you're usually breaking too many things, then you should take a step back and plan a little bit and progress like sequentially. If you, on the flip side, you move too slow, then shut up, stop talking, and just begin.
It'll never happen, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my mistake. Is usually moving too fast when I should have set a plan and slow down, do things a little more meticulously, not necessarily methodically, because you still want to move quickly, but make sure you have your ducks in a row and you're not scrambling so much.
I like that a lot. Are you driven by any spiritual beliefs?
My biggest thing is I desperately want, when I'm on my deathbed, that I just want to be out of ideas and I want to know that I became the best version of myself. Like that to me is big. I really hate regret. Like I hate regret. And I only have really one regret in my life and it stuck with me. And it was basketball growing up in high school. Like I didn't take enough chances and some people will be like, wow, that's a stupid regret. Stuck with me enough where I will start any company if it comes to my mind. I don't care if I lose money. I don't care. Like I met my wife at the gym and I just went up to her. Like some people always have regret for something. And it's, oh, I wish I talked to that girl. I wish I started this company. I hate that. I hate that feeling. I will never feel that. So for me, like my spiritual belief is I want to be the best man I can become. I think this was a podcast I was listening to, and I want to be like, if I'm on my deathbed, so imagine like you are on your deathbed and you have and there's God and the universe talking to you and saying, this is what you could have been, showing you the money, the fame, the happiness, the health, the belief in yourself, the spiritual, let's say, realization, and then the other version of you, and this is who like that to me terrifies me. I want to know that I became the best version of myself inside out. I helped as many people as possible. Like that's what drives me. And it's concerning. Like I think about that all the time. I just never want to be
Have
at
missed an
my end.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that. I just had this like thought over the weekend and I was like, what drives me to continue, right? At my age, when people think about retirement, and I could just stop and enjoy life and do these things. But at the same time, I think that when you're impact driven, and that's what I'm hearing from you, Tanner, is that when you believe this calling, whatever the calling is. That's why we do this show, is for people that have this call, and how narcissistic or egoistic or egocentric or boisterous it may sound. A call is a call.
And you got to answer it. And
And
I
you got to
believe
answer.
that there's full transparency. I want to run for office one day, 2040. That's my goal. And I don't want to. Like I wrote it in my first, I just feel like some people you have a call for something. I don't want to miss that call. And I'll try like healthcare, privacy. Like I might sound egotistical, like, oh no, but I'm not. If I feel compelled to do something, if I feel this push from within,
That's
answer
the
it.
spiritual principle. Yeah, that's the spiritual principle that is the essence of a call. This has been really an interesting, amazing conversation. The last thing I want to just talk about, what part of your journey made you trust the most in yourself? Because you got to be a badass to do what you do. I mean,
It's just, you develop a unwavering belief in yourself the more that you do it. So I wrote this. I'm not trying to cross promote here. I just honestly believe this is, again, I had a calling when I was 18, 19 to write some books. And my second book was called How to Achieve and Receive Everything You Want. Obviously, I'm 19. I hadn't achieved and received everything, but I've read a lot. A lot is, since 16, I've been reading 3 to 4 books a week. So I'd say voracious reader. And some of them are Michael Singer,
surrender
ranging to
experiment. Yeah.
biographies, to tech, to anything. And like in that, I wrote the number one thing, if you want to achieve and receive anything you want, is develop an unwavering belief in yourself. And I will be 100% honest. At that time, I did not have an unwavering belief in myself. An unwavering belief, that means the world could go against you and you still think you're going to come out on top. And that might be stupid, arrogant, whatever. But like Roger Bannister thought he could break the 4-minute barrier in a mile. Doctor scientists said, no, can't be done. Physically impossible. Like, no, I can do it. And he did it. And that's the thing that, like, most people, you're not born. Most people, I'll say everybody, nobody is born with this unwavering confidence. A lot of them fake it. But then once you start to work on yourself and you get up when you said you were going to get up, you read the book you said you were going to read, you ask that girl out when you said you were going to, you start that company, even though you failed, you persist. Like, that's when you start to develop this belief that, you know what, I can do what I say I'm going to do. And I'm going to, like, that's when you become proud of who you are. It's not born. You don't have an unwavering belief and then you start all these things. You're a little shaky. You start a company. You're still shaky. You succeed and then you're like, damn, I can do that. And that's how it works. That's how for me, I just get more confident the more I work. And even if I'm failing, it's like, what? That didn't kill me. I'm still kicking. That lawsuit I was in, still kicking. That's really that's the most fun as an entrepreneur. And it's not fun in it, but it's when you look back.
I think it's a backbone that you're building.
Yes.
And if you don't believe it, especially if you're asking for money and investment money, if you don't believe what you're doing, nobody will believe. Nobody
Correct.
will
Why are
believe
they
it.
going to write money if you're not willing to put your own money on the table?
Exactly. 100%. So for someone who now wants to get the app, where do they go?
You can go to freedomchat.com. You don't need me to spell it for you if you're listening. Just freedomchat.com. You got it. Download it on iOS or Android. You can go also, if you want to see book recommendations, some of the books I've written, you can go to tannerhaas.com. That one I might need to spell out, but I'm sure they can see it in the podcast description.
We'll make sure we have all the links in the show note. Is there one last thing you want to leave the audience with before we sign off today?
If you have a calling, if you have a push from within, and I mean a push like there's a hand on the inside of you pushing you towards something, go for it. Whether that's asking somebody out, whether that's starting something, getting in shape, doing some sort of competition, just do it. Like, stop thinking, just do it. And you will not regret it.
All right, Tanner. Well, this has been an amazing interview. Thank you so much for your time and energy and for being here. I appreciate you very much, and I can feel the passion and the conviction, and I'll vote for you. You got my vote.
2040, I got a few million to get, but we're off to a good start. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And until next time. And that is it for us for today. Today's conversation really was a deep dive into what happens when you have a really big, daunting idea that will upset quite a few people, possibly in the tech industry, when you take a business model that everybody's been following and you flip it upside down. You heard it from Tanner. Spread the word, get the app, and as always, guard your privacy. Make sure that you're as safe as you possibly can be. And with that, we're going to sign off for today. And until next time, and goodbye. That's it for this episode of the Business Growth Architect Show, Founders of the Future. If you're done playing small and ready to build the future on your terms, subscribe, share, and help us reach more trailblazers like you. And if you're serious about creating, growing, and scaling a business that's aligned with who you are, schedule your Uncovery session at uncoverysession.com. Lead with vision. Move with purpose. Create your future.